It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz are back in action tonight. The Chicago Bulls are in town. Who will play? Who will sit? Walker Kessler, Lowry Markkanen, foot sprain, right quadriceps contusion. They're going to miss tonight's game. Taylor Hendricks is going to miss at least a week with the toe injury he suffered in the first half of Monday's game with the Wizards, and Keontae George is questionable because of illness.
Get your tickets now.
Question of the morning up on Facebook. Are you still rooting for the Jazz to win because, it's what you do? Or, you're ready for them to lose because it's all about the draft pick at this point. What the heck is the point?
Well, it's a big night for them last night, man. They came through. Hawks won. The Rockets won.
The race for 9-10 is on.
Yeah. A chance to pick up a game here.
It's important. Jazz and Bulls tonight. So who are you going to see tonight? Sensabaugh?
BYU, Iowa State.
Yeah, at 8. You got an hour to kill first. All right, Jazz tonight. Pregame at 6, tip-off at 7 here on The Zone. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NBA.
Ball moves to Derek White, going to drive on Levert, feels some contact, throws out to the wing. Jalen touches it to Porzingis for the straightaway three. Moves to his left behind the Holiday screen. 7 on the shot clock. Kick out. Holiday up fake. Drives to the free throw line. Push pass out to the left wing. Jalen Brown's three is good. Scoring and the foul. Tatum leans in, puts it off the glass. No good. Cornette deflects the rebound, keeps it alive. Tatum pounces on it and lays it in.
Garland gave it to Allen. Garland right side. Wade. Three ball up. And good! Complete! Dean Wade having the fourth quarter of his life. Cavaliers go into a defensive jump ball position. Ball goes to White. Buzzer
game
sound.
over.
Ball game. Cavaliers win. 105-104.
Celtics collapsed at the end of that one, PK. They had a big lead, and they couldn't hold it, and Cavs come storming back. But how about calling a foul, stopping the clock, waving it off, and denying him the tip-in with Porzingis right at the front of the rim? Would he have beaten the buzzer? Instead, you end up with a jump ball at half court.
Oh, I can remember when you could stop a clock. Yeah, the Cavs without Mitchell. No problem. You got the Caucasian D. Wade. That's Dean Wade of Kansas State.
20 points for him in the fourth quarter. He went off.
Unstoppable. Well, he's D. Wade.
Once you put it like that.
Yeah, that's what he do.
Cavaliers were down 22 points in the fourth quarter, the biggest fourth quarter comeback in Cavalier history.
And that goes a long way.
And Donovan Mitchell has a knee injury, so he's out for a few more games here and then reevaluated, and we'll see. You already mentioned the most important games of the night. The race for the bottom. Atlanta beat the Knicks 116-100. Big win for the Hawks.
Yeah, I tend
and
to
the Rockets. The Rockets
was in the Garden, no less.
Yeah, the Rockets had the Spurs at home, so that wasn't.
They ought to get them.
That wasn't very surprising.
Oh no, not at all. I didn't even blink an eye.
That a kid.
How about Segun though, man? 46 points, 16 boards. Take that, Big Vic. This guy from Turkey's a player, man.
Players flock into the NBA from all over the world.
Over 45 and 16?
Those are enormous numbers.
In reg, no less. You don't need no overtime like the Suns and Nuggies.
DJ and PK.
Hashtag college basketball.
You never know how games are going to play out, PK, but the best game of the night on paper, without question, number 20 BYU at number 6 Iowa State. This is the last road game of the regular season for BYU, and a win that, if they could get it, would look awfully good on the old resume.
It'll be the last road game of the season then.
Yeah, this is it. One home game and then off for conference tournaments and neutral floors.
Yeah. This is the biggest game since they played San Diego State, regular season, and Jimmers last year. I mean, they had some nice wins against Gonzaga, but this one, they're really playing for seeding advantageously, trying to win in the NCAA tournament. This is a massive game for them. If they get this, and there's no buts, because, they got Kansas last week, but Kansas playing without their leading scorer. I watched him play against K-State last night, and he's a very, very nice player. As Kansas just whipped up on Kansas State, and he's so smooth. So now for Iowa State, it's like, speaking of McCullough, obviously, for Kansas, even though he was only 5 of 14, he still had 19 points. But this one here, Iowa State's been playing well. They got the Cougs, or Cougs got them in Provo, I should say, and that I was listening on the Big 12 network yesterday, their coach talking about the big kid, Khalifa. That was one of his better games. This is a massive game for NCAA seeding purposes.
Iowa State 17-0 at home. Don't mess with them at home. Although Kansas was undefeated when BYU went in there and they got them, so take down another big dog at home.
Yeah.
You don't really like basketball point spreads. Have you looked at this one?
No.
Iowa State 7.5.
No, I have not.
BYU won by 12 at home, 87-75.
Basketball point spreads. If I'm going to bet, which I'm not, but if I were, there'd be no way I would bet on basketball. Just see so many late meaningless shots that go in by somebody who's a walk-on and is the coach's son, and the crowd called for him to get in the game, something like that. So, huge game for them. Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it. I was telling my wife about it. She says, "Well, can you watch it?" I said, "Yeah, they moved it off that stupid ESPN Plus."
It's on ESPN2 tonight.
I get ESPN2. Yes, I do.
Also tonight, Utah State is at San Jose State.
They got to win, man.
Yes,
they
do.
Nevada breathing down their back. UNLV coming out of nowhere. Has won 10 of 11, beating the Aztecs last night. I saw your boy, some San Diego State homer, claiming that Littleton teed up Dutcher, and that was the difference, and he has a BYU bias. Littleton has a BYU bias because he coached baseball there for a little bit. That's a weak connection.
UNLV ends up beating the Aztecs 62-58. Nevada went into Boise State and won 76-66.
It's a huge win for them, too.
And Nevada's got the tiebreaker on Utah State. Now, Utah State's got a one-game lead.
So they got to win these last two, obviously.
If the Aggies stumble, Nevada finishes with UNLV, the in-state
and
rival.
then the winner, basically, if they're not going to lose to San Jose, it's just like, if you lose to San Jose, get out of my face. But New Mexico at home, here in Logan, possible, right? They take care of Biz, they the first seed. Then if they don't, then you got Nevada and Vegas.
They'll be tied with the winner of that game,
battling it out.
But Utah State beat UNLV. They lost to Nevada, so they would have the tiebreaker for the 1 seed over the Rebels, but not over the Wolfpack.
And worth noting, because I don't think it really makes that big of a difference. But worth noting that you're playing Vegas in Vegas, and they're hot right now.
So
teams are playing Vegas in Vegas. I don't know who's going to play Vegas in Vegas, but if you should, they're hot. They're playing at home for the conference tournament. Again, Utah State, they don't need the conference tournament to get into the NCAAs. It's not that. They don't need to go to Vegas and win the whole thing. But if you're looking for the best seed possible, then you'd want to win the games. And it is fun to win the conference tournament, even though it doesn't make any sense to me, but nevertheless, it is fun.
Also tonight, the Pac-12 women's basketball tournament starts. Utah is the 6th seed. They're playing ASU, the 11th seed. That game's at 9:30.
I'm going to be up.
Pac-12 Network.
But I won't be up at 10. They're going to kill them.
They should.
Yeah.
They already did once, 58-41 in the regular season. DJ and PK.
#NFL.
If the Bears take Caleb Williams, ... finish that.
If they take him, you better be under the understanding that you're going to sit him this year. And that's not going to happen.
Why would you sit him?
Well, because 75% of what he made him so great in college is not transferable to the NFL. He's not going to be able to do that. He can't do what he did in college 75% of the time and be successful at the NFL level. He can do the 25% part at the NFL level, but he needs some time. He needs to get under center. He needs to understand how to throw on time, on platform, from the pocket. What he can do off platform is what makes him so exciting, because he may be one of the most talented quarterbacks in this year's draft and many in the past year's draft. But he is a guy that I don't think can be a starter on day one.
Former NFL quarterback Ryan Leaf, Caleb Williams in the shotgun. Caleb Williams scrambling around creating stuff.
Caleb
Exciting.
Williams, you know what he said to Ryan Leaf? Don't talk about me!
Probably.
This is why you need to come out as soon as you can. Everybody is dissecting Caleb Williams' game every which way, and most folks aren't saying he's going to be all that. This guy, if you want the nobody believed in me deal, I've seen like multiple people. Hodge, he ain't gonna be nothing special, blah, 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 on and on. That's why you need to come out as soon as you can, because they just dissect it every which way. We'll see, man. But couldn't you say that about any rookie? Coming in, quarterback?
That they won't make it?
No. That he's not saying he won't make it, he's saying he needs to sit.
Right.
Mahomes did.
If Patrick Mahomes benefited from sitting him a year, and we see everything he's been able to do, Tom Brady started, there was an injury, so he had to start, but he was sitting and learning. So everybody needs to sit and learn. If Tom Brady benefited from it,
right.
Why wouldn't you?
Right.
At this point.
So that's not really that outrageous. But
the
if
Bears
they
are
trade
expected to trade
Fields, then he ain't sitting.
The Bears are expected to trade Fields and then make Williams the first
I don't
overall
know
pick.
that that's true.
What?
Because you look at Mahomes, well, they were in a winning situation.
They were a playoff team.
So I don't think the Bears are going to be that. So is it better to play and get your mistakes over in sort of a trial run anyway, because you're not expected to be knocking on the door of 10 wins? So I think the situations are different, because at the same time, didn't Manning and Aikman get shoved out there, and they struggled team-wise?
Elway lined up behind guard in the L.A. Coliseum. You probably remember that. You were there then. That was a big deal.
No, I didn't go to that game that day.
You were in L.A.
Oh.
It was a story. So there's some Hall of Fame quarterbacks who played right away and struggled. Aikman famously, the team won one game.
That's infamously.
More likely, yes. Leaf referred to Michael Penix Jr. as the most accurate downfield passer I've seen come out of college, and I can't tell you how long.
Well, I can't compare it. If you can't tell me, that's dumb. Tell me. You got to tell me. Since Andrew Luck, give me something.
Seattle Seahawks releasing safeties Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs and tight end Will Dissly. Adams, a three-time Pro Bowler, was set to make a non-guaranteed $16 million and count $27 million against the salary cap. So by releasing Diggs, the Seahawks freed up $11 million in cap space, take on $10 million in dead money. That's a lot of accounting. Seattle's rebuilding in a division that has the 49ers and the Rams.
Well, it also
seems
has
like
the
a big task. Yes, but implied in that is that it's really hard to compete with the 49ers and Rams, and you knew that. But thank you, Mr. Literal. Yes.
I want to help the people, make sure
I
if they
don't
have
think
any
you
doubt.
do. I don't think you do.
They used to be in St. Louis and Cleveland. They weren't sure what division they were in.
Patriots with the $13.8 million transition tag to hold on to their safety. Kyle Duggar, all these guys. How do you get under the cap? Pittman gets franchise tag. Michael Pittman Jr., Colts receiver, coming off 100 catches and 1,100 yards. Can't let him get away, so he'll make $21.8 million this year. Lock him down for
Good
at
for the
least another
Pittman
year.
family. His brother playing for the Utes.
And speaking of the Utes, the former Ute cornerback Jalen Johnson gets the franchise tag as well. But It's a non-exclusive one, so they can still cut a deal.
Man, can we stop with this nonsense?
All right, there's your NFL news. That is what is trending in the National Football League. Getting ready for more money deals that will fascinate PK. That is what is trending there. Your headlines, you're up to date. The question of the day is coming up next at 8:30. We will talk with Tim Lacombe from the Jazz pre-half and post-game radio show. Get his thoughts on the big BYU Iowa State game tonight, and also look ahead to the Jazz and the rest of the season here. DJ and PK, the question of the day is next. Stay with us.